Tonight, News 3 investigates how a young Dane County woman became a victim when no one was watching.
About a year ago, 4 men were charged with the gang rape of a 17-year-old in the town of Blooming Grove. Tonight, we have new information on that victim and lapses in supervision that allowed it to happen. News 3's Jessica Harp investigates a case that is shining a light tonight on key safety measures in our community.
This story begins with the end. A 17-year-old girl is dead. Her cause of death was suicide, but the circumstances that led up to her death are so much more complicated. She was in 2 situations, 2 homes in Dane County, including this one, where people who should have been, News 3 has learned, simply weren't watching. The first home is at 3150 St. Paul Avenue, an apartment in the town of Blooming Grove, where Sheriff Dave Mahoney's deputies responded July 12th of 2016 after a report of a sexual assault.
We learned that there had been a party hosted at a apartment that was actually housing individuals who were under DOC supervision as sexual predators.
Court documents show the 17-year-old girl smoked weed and took ecstasy, was taken to that party and told by the 3 men who lived there and another who brought her that, quote, she wanted this. She reported being repeatedly raped. One offender arrested for the crime said they were taking turns and that the girl was tossed around like a rag doll and estimated she was assaulted 11 times. The apartments where it happened were emergency housing for sex offenders just released from prison, a place the Department of Corrections says was used for offenders at risk of homelessness. But documents released to News 3 by the DOC show that regular daily monitoring of offenders at this home did not happen.
You had to rely upon one another, one predator in charge of watching another one. So kind of like putting the wolf inside the hen house.
Documents show sex offenders were only seen in occasional home visits over the year prior to the assault, and they knew when agents were coming, with nearly all visits scheduled ahead of time. There was an agent at the home on the day of the alleged assault, meeting with Reginald Patton to move him in. Patton was later one of 4 men charged in the case.
His reading is extraordinarily limited.
Another offender charged, Stefan Heiler, has already pleaded guilty to his role in the assault. His attorney says he has cognitive issues. DOC documents note he could not read or write.
It's a travesty what happened, but part of the blame lies in putting this cognitively disabled person inside this facility with no one to supervise him.
Heiler's attorney, Michael Covey, says he'll ask for a shorter sentence in part because, he says, DOC bears some responsibility for what happened.
There was drugs being used. There was lots of sex happening in this building. That's from the police reports. That's from the witness testimony. That's from the investigation. It was an animal house.
The Department of Corrections declined our repeated requests for interviews. In a statement, they tell us they're no longer using this house or any emergency housing in Dane County. Instead, they're using transitional housing programs. A spokesman says their policy now is that, quote, contracted staff must conduct 3 site checks per day in addition to regular home visits from probation and parole agents. But the question remains why the Department of Corrections was not regularly monitoring this residence before this happened. The department will not tell us if anyone was disciplined or fired or release any results of an internal investigation. You should also know, if you map where 3150 St. Paul Avenue is from the DOC headquarters, it's so close you could walk there.
It never should have happened, and the fact that it was able to happen, you know, you're just kind of left dumbfounded.
Jennifer Ginsburg works with Safe Harbor Child Advocacy Center and is familiar with this case and the victim.
You know, we have a teenager who was victimized by 2 failed systems.
The other home in this story was a Dane County group home, the Spone Avenue House for Girls, which is now closed. The 17-year-old victim was living there at the time of the assault. According to documents provided by the Department of Children and Families, the victim reported the rape to a staff member at 1:30 a.m. on July 8th. It wasn't until the victim told the group home director 9 hours later that police were called. Then, 1 month later, on August 5th, 2016, the victim hung herself from a rod in her closet. She later died at the hospital.
We know that kids who are sexually assaulted are much more likely to have suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts. And, you know, and it's awful that that, I mean, a group home should be a place that's where we're able to stop a suicide from happening.
The group home was cited by the state for violating abuse and neglect reporting requirements for not reporting the sexual assault immediately. And then in October issued another order saying the home, quote, failed to provide a safe, stable, and humane environment. Rather than take corrective action, the group home chose to close its doors.
I think what it shows is that it needs to be rigorous, and that really in either of these places, that, you know, that both of those settings need rigorous training, supervision.
The executive director of Orion Family Services, Hugh Myers, declined our interview request, but said discussions to close the home were already underway and that state records reflect a, quote, highly inaccurate assessment of the situation. Those in the community say their hope is that the right people are watching next time.
I know that the only way for this tragedy to not be completely in vain is for there to be changes.
News 3 reached out to the family of the victim, who declined comment but said they had retained an attorney. For News 3 Investigates, I'm Jessica Arp.
While the DOC tells us that they're no longer using emergency housing in Dane County, they continue to use other locations across the state, of which there are more than 50.